So we're getting reports that Kash Patel has begun polygraphing FBI agents in this MAGA purge that they're doing.
This actually follows Kristi Noem over at the Department of Homeland Security, basically since the beginning of February, right when she took the job, started polygraphing everybody. And then Pete Hegseth over at the Department of Defense said, I like that. We're going to start doing it over here. And now Kash Patel with the FBI says, hey, that sounds like fun. Everybody line up. It's time for a polygraph because we've got to get a hold on these leaks. And that is what, obviously, Noem said. That is what Hegseth said. We're just trying to find the leakers. That's not at all what's happening, by the way. They are firing people. One man was fired after he took a polygraph and revealed that during the 2020 George Floyd protests, his wife took a knee. That's what he explained. He's like, yeah, I had to tell them that shortly after I got my walking papers. So this is not about finding leaks. This is about finding people with differing viewpoints from the Trump administration.
I think one of the interesting things to this story in particular is that polygraphs are not reliable enough to be in court. They're not admissible in any kind of court proceeding in this country, but they're reliable enough. This pseudoscience is reliable enough for the administration to go on these witch hunts, because a lot of people don't know that how unreliable they are, and they may get nervous and say things they shouldn't have. But a false positive or something like that can get you fired from your job. This is also part of a weaponization we're seeing with the Department of Justice generally, but with the FBI particularly. We've already seen a disturbing trend in the reduction of white-collar crime prosecutions. Even under the Biden administration, to be clear, there had been about a 30% drop over the previous years in those prosecutions. The Trump administration, however, is essentially upending the entire public integrity service and doing away with white-collar prosecution.
Yeah, and that is part of this too, asking questions. What do you think of this particular case? What do you think? What are your opinions on these people here? So it really is kind of running the gamut of everything. We want to find out if you're going to go after the people we want you to go after. Are you going to not go after the people we want to protect? And a lot of it too is not just about finding these individuals. Part of it is just the fear of it. Knowing that at any minute you could get that phone call at your desk saying, come in and do the polygraph. That is enough to scare a lot of people working in these agencies to already just fall in line. They don't want to go through that. They don't want to risk anything. They need this job. This is how they're supporting themselves and their families. So I'm not going to ruffle any feathers. That way, when I get called in for my polygraph, they know that I'm on the straight and narrow with the MAGA movement. This is real 1984 stuff here. I mean, almost exactly out of 1984.
Well, and we're seeing very real actions being taken. Obviously we're talking about more esoteric, general things, but even the fact that Kash Patel wants to put in a direct line from his office to the White House, and there's a reason that had not existed before, because there's supposed to be a separation between the DOJ. The FBI in particular is supposed to be an independent investigatory body. This is clearly bringing it underline, bringing it under the realm of Trump and these loyalist purges and hunts.
Yeah, and Kash Patel's the guy who wrote a book a year or two ago, and in the back of the book, he had an enemies list. These are the people that we want to prosecute if Donald Trump makes it back into office. It was published. So having him as the FBI director, the guy that actually could go out and punish these people on his list, that is a terrifying thought. And I think that's a good reason why he wants that phone line directly to Donald Trump. They have the same enemies. Patel also wrote a children's book about Donald Trump, the king. So just a real gross sycophant, capable of inflicting a lot of damage. He's been relatively quiet compared to some other members of the administration, but I predict probably within the next 6 months, by the end of the year, more people are going to be paying attention to him because he's going to become more extreme, because that's who he is.